Are we in a year in 2020 where running back handcuffs are more important than they have ever been?
Right here.
No, I'm excited for this episode too. I think there's just so much we're finding in the new format that we've been running for you guys, Whisper Nation. We've been really diving into things that interest us the most. That we've seen that on YouTube it interests you as well. So without further ado, let's jump into some of these topics. The first topic is a big one. Cowboys' Ezekiel Elliot is one of the players who has tested positive for coronavirus. His agent confirmed that to Ian Rappaport.
Oh shit! You got coronavirus.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's happened, and I can't help but think of Dak Prescott's giant party that everyone went to. No, I know it's probably a little too far away for that one, but
yeah, dude, that was 20 days ago. He's probably reached past that, but now we've got Ezekiel Elliott, and this had me thinking, Johnny, are we in a year in 2020 where running back handcuffs are more important than they have ever been? And that starts here with Ezekiel Elliott, who has coronavirus confirmed, and his backup, of course, is Tony Pollard, who was the preseason superstar last year or the year before when he was in the holdout, when Zeke was in his mini holdout and chilling down in Mexico. So, Johnny, what's your thought on handcuffs? Does it change with 2020 with the pandemic? So I think it's important to note, first off, why we're bringing this up, because it's the whole cost over replacement argument is what we're trying to talk about. And if you're not familiar with it, it's basically stating the whole thesis of the argument is that you are limiting your upside by grabbing handcuffs, because as long as your player, which you don't ever want to go down, remains healthy, the person on your bench it's useless, because you can't put them in your lineup most often unless it's a really good run offense, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's the basic idea. Is you're limiting your upside, and what are we trying to do in our drafts? We're trying to maximize that upside. Well, it is 2020, like you said, Travis, and COVID is something that's very, very serious, something that is, you can't plan for it. We don't know when you're going to get it, but we do know that once you get it, that's it. There's no like, hey, maybe he can play with this, or you're gone. You're gone for 14 days quarantine, no seeing anybody else. Hopefully you live. Like, that's also another reality, is like, hopefully you don't die from this. But anyway, getting back to the main point, I do think it is more important this year to have handcuffs that are on higher power offenses. I don't think that if you are on, for example, Todd Gurley, I know Ito Smith is the backup there. I know exactly how much garbage Ito Smith is. Like, I'm not going to waste a pick on grabbing Ito Smith to lock up that backfield. Like, if Todd Gurley goes down, okay, I'm okay. I'm going to look somewhere else.
This makes it 2 years in a row where Johnny just goes hard at Ito Smith.
And Ito Smith is going to prove me right 2 years in a row. So thank you for that. Same with like Le'Veon Bell, same kind of situation. Frank Gore, I'm not...
Yeah, I think it's just about like what you're trying to say here for sure is with Tony Pollard, you have a decent shot that if Zeke goes down, Tony Pollard's going to come in, not replace Zeke, not be a top 10 back, but could be a top 15, top 20 back based on the usage that he could get in that offense and what he had shown us before. So I think it really just depends on which situation you're going in. Obviously, we talked about Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt last week. You want to get Nick Chubb.
Oh, I'd be getting both of those,
regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless, but like now you've got an elite. He's probably the best case scenario. That's the best handcuff there is, if you can even call him a handcuff.
Right.
I think that it's you just need to understand which of the premium offenses are out there. I think if there was a situation with Mark Ingram and you had J.K. Dobbins, that's a huge situation.
Oh, yeah.
An offense you'd want a piece of.
Right.
Kerryon Johnson and DeAndre Swift. I think if you get DeAndre Swift and Kerryon Johnson goes down, that's replacement value, as you were saying there, Johnny. I love that you brought that up.
Here's what's so crazy too is, so COVID gets, Ezekiel Elliott gets diagnosed with COVID, and immediately his draft stock just plummets, right? Even though we're like 2 months from the season, and we did a mock draft. I got him in the 9th pick on Monday. We did a live mock draft. Dalvin Cook, who we will talk about on the show, but did not, he's not showing up. He said he's not showing up to camp. His didn't move. His did not move at all. So it's just funny how fickle people are with certain bits of news. I would not be concerned with Zeke having COVID as of right now. He's saying his agent is saying that he's good and that he's healthy.
He feels good and that he'll probably be good by the time we start camp.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Whisperers podcast. You can hear more from John and Travis on Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TF Whisperers.